The next t-shirt I have not seen any podcast talk about. Hi everybody, my name is Alex, and on this channel I talk about all things knitting and crochet. Welcome if you are new, and welcome back if you're returning. Thank you so much for being here. I have a very exciting video today, and that is my summer knitting plans. More so really things that are inspiring me this summer, because there's no way I can possibly make all the things that are on this list. I will explicitly tell you the things that I definitely plan to make, but I couldn't narrow it down to things that are feasible, so I'm just going to share everything because I am so in love with everything, and if I had unlimited time, I would make everything. So hopefully you find some inspiration from this video. I have over 20 patterns for you in the categories tank tops, vests, t-shirts, long sleeves, and then accessories. If I'm looking over here, it's because I'm referencing all the patterns on my computer and I want to make sure I'm reading you the correct information. I will of course have all of the images inserted on the screen somewhere so you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. I find that most useful when I'm watching other videos, so I always make sure to do that in my videos. We got a lot to get through, so I think we should just jump right into it. So starting with tank tops, the first one on the list is the 7 p.m. tank by Tiffany Ty. I actually have already mentioned this in my spring knitting plans video because I wanted to make it for spring, but it is even more suitable for summer, and I haven't made it yet, so I definitely plan to make it this summer. I actually have yarn for it, so let me show you what yarn I plan to use as I scooch away while I'm still talking. I'm planning to use the Rowan Summerlight 4-ply, which is Egyptian cotton. 50 grams is 175 meters in this beautiful dusty purple color. I don't know, I saw this color and I was like, that is the color I need to make this. This is knit on 2 to 2.75 millimeter needles, so very small gauge. Recommends a light fingering weight yarn and is in sizes ranging from 71 centimeters to 158 centimeter bust. I really love this tank top. I love it so much that I'm continuing it into my summer knitting plans. It looks like the band around your waist is knit in the horizontal direction, so like from side to side, and then you pick up stitches and knit the bust in the normal vertical direction, and then you have I-cord straps. There's a little bit of bust shaping, and I really love the back of this tank top. It looks like there's some ribbing on the center back, which just kind of tightens it all in and makes it really cinched on your waist. So this is a negative ease garment, and yeah, overall I'm just very excited to make this. The second tank top that I'm definitely planning to make is the Soho top by Kadri. This recommends 2 fingering weight yarns held together, which makes a worsted gauge, and it recommends knitting on a 3 millimeter needle. This is 100% in garter stitch, which is super awesome because that means that it's very little purling, I assume. I haven't actually read through the pattern, but that's what I assume. And I really love the boat neck. I feel like a boat neck is definitely trending for this summer. I made my blouse number 1, which has a boat neck design, and I am obsessed with that neckline right now. It has a really nice little seaming detail along the side. I think that this is just like such a elegant, beautiful knit top. The pattern comes in sizes 1 through 10, which has a finished bust circumference of 76 centimeters to 136 centimeters. So it is not great on the upper end of that range. And I'll just note that. I would like to see the range go up a little bit higher. Overall, really like this tank top. Definitely planning to make it. The next tank top I have for you is a 3-in-1 deal. And who doesn't love a 3-in-1 deal? It is a 3-in-1 cropped tank top by Alex Ropp. We have the same name, but she spells hers so cool. It's A-L-Y-X. I'm an A-L-E-X. This is a tank top that's in 2 different colors, and you can wear it 3 different ways. So you can either wear it with, let's say you have color A and color B, you can either wear color A in the front, color B in the back, flip it around so color B's in the front, color A's in the back, or you can go halfway in between that and have a line down the middle that separates the colors, so color A is on one side and color B is on the other side. How cool is that? This is definitely a teeny tiny little cropped tank top, so I imagine it doesn't use very much yarn. It recommends a worsted weight yarn too, so very quick to knit up, I imagine. And it is knit on a 5 millimeter needle. I love the little edge detailing. It doesn't look like a I-cord. It might be crochet. It kind of looks like a single crochet. Oh, it totally is, because the straps are crocheted too. That's really cool. That's what I did for my tank top that I drafted myself. And so it's just like a single crochet border, I think. I don't have the pattern, so correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what it looks like from the photos. And then you just chain a bunch of stitches for the straps that tie at the top of your shoulder. So that's what makes it super adjustable, is that these straps can just be tied in any orientation that you want. I imagine you could also make it like a halter top in the back and tuck in the other 2 straps. Very cool design. This one doesn't have a great size range. It comes in sizes extra small to extra large. I don't know what that equates to in bust circumference, so I will note that. This tank top is the square neck camisole by Helena Beva. I think Florence from Handmade by Florence made this tank top and she wore it in her first ever podcast episode, and I just remember being like, that. I need to make that. So this is a square neck camisole. It's a ribbed tank top, which means it's super stretchy and it fits to your body really well. It's knit from the top down. So I love that in a tank top that is knit from the top down because it's much easier to try it on as you go and see if you like the fit rather than bottom up where you're kind of guesstimating the whole time. It comes in sizes extra small to double XL, which again is not the best size range. I would like to see that go up a little bit on the higher end. That corresponds to a 31.5 inch to a 47.25 inch bust circumference. Recommends a fingering weight yarn. This one is in Knitting for Olive Merino. And I absolutely love the finishing details around the neck and around the arms. That hem is just left. It looks like you bind off in pattern. It's just left as the rib. But the arms, I'm not sure if that is folded over stockinette or if it's double knitting, but I really love the finishing details on this. Moving on, we have the Olive Top by Pernille Larsen. And this is published in Knitting for Olive's collection of patterns. It is knit in Knitting for Olive pure silk in the color olive, which I actually have ordered, but for something else I'll talk about later in the video. This is an all over leaf motif and it is absolutely beautiful. It's one of the only triangle shaped tank tops that I find myself wanting to make. It's knit in fingering weight on 3mm needles and comes in sizes extra small to 4XL. The next tank top that I want to mention is the Sailor Swift top by Veronica Lindberg, also known as Kudafikika. I absolutely love her. I love her YouTube channel. I love her Instagram. I love all of her patterns. She is just like a breath of fresh air. She is so energetic and joyful about knitting. I find it very, very inspiring. This Sailor Swift top is a striped high neck tank top. It's knit in a fingering weight yarn on 3mm needles and comes in sizes extra small to 5XL. Overall, it just looks like the perfect summer tank top. I think Sailor Swift top is a very fitting name. It reminds me of a little sailor, which what is more nautical than summertime? This is the last tank top in this roundup. This is the coolest thing that I have seen in a long time. And that is the Tied and True tank / vest by Tamara Jordan, also known as Starcross Knits. The construction of this, the artistry, the ideas that Tamara has going on in her head are just so incredible. I don't know if it's I-cord or if it's just a tube that you put a string through, but I love the I-cord detailing and I love the little ties. I especially love that there's 3 ties. I feel like little bows are having a moment right now, and the little bow tied off tank is super awesome, but I really love that this has 3 ties. I love the little ruffle detail at the bottom. It's like a little bit of a peplum. I'm hesitant to use that word because I think we're all scarred from 2012. I love that you can wear it by itself or over other things. It is definitely fits the bill of a tank top / vest. I love this red color that Tamara made it in her pattern photos, but then also, I don't notice this very frequently. All of the tester photos are incredible. Everybody's turned out so beautiful. So it recommends an Aran weight yarn, which means it's actually relatively quick knit. To use an Aran weight on 4.5mm needles for a tank top is like, that's pretty quick. It is, you do have to knit back and forth. It's not in the round, so that's something to note. And it comes in sizes 28 inch to 62 inch bust. Oh, okay. I was confused. Give me a second. The Tied and True tank / vest is one pattern, but then there's also a Tied and True cardigan, which is a very similar pattern. The Tied and True cardigan is knit on a lace weight yarn using a 4.5mm needle, so it's still the same needle size as the tank / vest, but it is using a lace weight yarn, which gives it a really airy, ethereal fabric. And this is the one that Tamara made in a mohair, I think. This one has beautiful little cap sleeves that some people have also turned into long sleeves, and I think some people have also turned it into balloon sleeves, which, like, how beautiful is that to have this great little tied top with beautiful big balloon sleeves. I love these 2 patterns. They are definitely like on my I will make one day list. I feel like the Tied and True tank / vest is a good segue into vests. So this next category is vests. To start, I want to talk about the Vacation Vest by Park Williams. This seems like the perfect little layer for summer. Like, imagine you have a bikini on, you're at the beach, then you have your little vest that you throw over it, and it just has these cute little clasps right here. I think I would also make it have ties to go along with that whole bow thing that's happening right now, and tied in the front with little bows. I actually screenshotted this picture 6 months ago of this vest. I don't know what brand this is from, but I immediately fell in love with this vest situation, and I am on a mission to recreate it myself. And I really think that the vacation vest could be that pattern. It uses a worsted weight gauge on 5mm needles. So it seems like it's pretty quick to knit up too. It comes in sizes extra small to 5XL, so great size range. And overall, I just absolutely love this vest. Because I was specifically looking for vests that mimicked this photo, I also found 2 other vests. So I'm going to go through them a little bit more rapid fire, but I do think that the vacation vest is the most versatile because it is the most size inclusive and the most neutral, I would say, so you can alter it however you see fit. But the other vests, Top Sole by Mochi Knits, this is where I got the inspiration to do the little tie details. I love these little bows, and I really love the finishing on the arm. I don't know, I think it's ribbed. This is knit DK weight, so a slightly thinner yarn than the other vest, on 3.5mm needles. It does only come in sizes extra small to extra large. So that's why I'm not recommending this one as strongly as the vacation vest, because the size range is not size inclusive. Then the other vest is the Vest Claire by Mochi Knits. So Mochi Knits has 2 vest patterns that I really like. This one is more size inclusive than their other one. Comes in an extra small to a 3XL. So still not like the 4XL, 5XL, extra small inclusion that I'm like usually looking for, but it's much better than the other one. This one recommends a light fingering. So we keep going down in gauge. First one was worsted, then we got DK, and now we're at a light fingering. So depending on the thickness of the fabric that you want to make and the time that you want to spend making it, there are your 3 vest options. This one's also knit on 3.5mm needles. So I imagine it's a little bit of a gapier fabric than the Top Sole. I love the buttons that the pattern photo uses, and has this really cool split detail at the base of the buttons where the hem kind of splits apart from itself. Overall, very cool vest. Moving on to t-shirts. This first t-shirt is something that I am definitely going to make, and I'm going to make it in Knitting for Olive pure silk in the color olive. I don't have the yarn with me yet, otherwise I would show you, but that is my plan. And it is the Ophelia blouse by Tamara Jordan, also known as Starcross Knits. She was the one who designed the tied and true tank. I also talked about this in my spring knitting plans, but I love it so much it has carried on into my summer knitting plans. And I just absolutely love the little fit and flare of the top. I love the lace detail around all of the edges, and especially love this little picot edge after the lace, which I think is crocheted. So it's both knitting and crochet. This is in a fingering weight yarn, recommends the Knitting for Olive pure silk, knit on 2 to 2.75mm needles, and comes in sizes 30 inches to 60 inches for a finished bust circumference. However, it is, I think, slightly made to measure, where you can choose how much waist shaping you want, choose how much you want to flare out at the hips, and choose your bust circumference, all when you get to those stages in the pattern. I just can't get over this photo. This is like the exact vibe that I want. I wanted to make it in the Knitting for Olive pure silk in the color coal, which is this black that Tamara knit hers in, but they were sold out. So I think that here's the olive color in this pattern. I think it'll look great, and I'm very excited. The next t-shirt I have not seen any podcast talk about, I think. I have only seen it on Instagram. I think it's a newish pattern. It's the Armour top by Ronti Enimola. Please let me know if I mispronounce that so I can pronounce it correctly in the future. This is the coolest t-shirt I have ever seen. It totally reminds me of Armour. Armour in American English is spelled AMOR, so I don't know if in the UK it's spelled AMOUR, like color is spelled differently. Okay, now I'm getting on a tangent. I think that this looks like a cool, badass t-shirt. I love the green that the designer knitted in, but I also love this gray that I think one of the testers knitted in. It's so cool, badass. That's the word that comes to mind about this, is badass. It's a badass t-shirt. It is all over ribbing. It feels like it like cinches in and fits you really well. I see somebody made it into a dress. I haven't ever yet in my knitting journey had the desire to make a dress. But seeing this photo makes me want to knit this dress. Anyway, this pattern is just really cool. I love, some people make it more cropped, some people make it fuller length. I saw this photo on Instagram. I can't remember what the color looks like right now, but I will insert a photo so you know what I'm talking about. And I just think that the colorway is so perfect. The Armour top recommends a DK weight yarn on 4.5 millimeter needles and comes in sizes extra small to 5XL. So great size range. The next t-shirt is perfect for that 1 or 2 skeins of hand-dyed yarn that you have that you don't really know what to do with. And that is the cottagecore crop by Kate Garden. This is a raglan. It's kind of looks like it's a cardigan style, but then you button up in the front, so you knit it flat, not in the round. And it has these adorable little ruffle details on the arms, and again that little peplum situation going on around the hem. I know I keep saying that word, and it's a little scary, but it's really cute in these contexts. This pattern recommends a fingering weight yarn on 3.75 millimeter needles and comes in sizes extra small to 5XL. So again, great size range. This t-shirt is one of the very few t-shirts that I will say breaks my rule of not liking longer sleeved t-shirts. And this is the Roadtripper tee by Ozetta. I think it's a raglan. Looks like there's some raglan seaming. And it is a traditional t-shirt in the sense that the sleeves come down longer on your arm. I absolutely love the little button-up detail along the neck. I think that it makes it so much more interesting than just your plain t-shirt. If you are looking for something that's a little bit more full coverage than what I've mentioned so far, this is a great option. It's knit in a sport weight yarn on 3.5 millimeter needles and comes in sizes extra small to 5XL. I haven't knit anything from Ozetta, but I am definitely going to because I love all of their patterns. If you've knit any of Ozetta's patterns and you'd recommend them, comment them down below and let me know because I am choosing which Ozetta pattern I want to knit first. This one is up there. The next t-shirt is also a longer sleeved t-shirt, and this is the Tombo tee by Florence Miller. Florence has done something incredible. I think it's a saddle shoulder construction, so the stripes look like they go straight across your whole. There was quite a tragedy, and my microphone died. I didn't realize for a hot minute, so I need to go back and re-record some of the things that I've already recorded. I apologize if the lighting has changed, if the camera angle has changed. Let's just get back into the patterns. I think where the mic cut out was what I was talking about, Florence Miller's Tombo tee. And I think I was saying how I just love how the stripes go all the way across from one shoulder to the other, and they're not kind of sprouting out from the seam or the increases or anything. This is just the perfect basic tee. The pattern recommends a fingering weight on 3 millimeter needles and comes in sizes, she does not use numbers, which actually I really appreciate that she doesn't use numbers. 75 centimeters to 155 centimeter finished circumference. Just the perfect basic tee. That isn't too basic because it's striped. But you could make a solid color version if you wanted to. Okay, the last t-shirt on this list is a tried and true. There haven't been any petite knit patterns yet, but here's our first petite knit pattern, and it is the Anker Summer Shirt by Petite Knit. I just absolutely love the yoke on this. I think she has a t-shirt pattern and a sweater pattern. I think it looks so elegant and classy, but cool at the same time. And okay, this is going to be a little bit of a tangent, but I need to know if anybody resonates with what I'm about to say. Do you know those moms on TikTok that their really cool daughters are filming? It's always photos of like how absolutely cool their mom is, and they're wearing like baggy jeans, a really cool sneaker, a sweater vest. Their hair is amazing. They're wearing big chunky glasses. They have beautiful jewelry. I feel like that kind of mom would wear this t-shirt. And sometimes that's the vibe I'm going for. Sometimes that is who I want to be. The pattern recommends DK weight yarn in Sandnesgarn Line. It's knit on 4 millimeter needles and comes in sizes extra small to 5XL. It has to be good. There's over 8,000 projects on Ravelry. The next category is long sleeves. And I debated whether or not I wanted to include long sleeves in this pattern roundup because I feel like long sleeves, summertime, they don't kind of go together in a lot of climates, but personally in the climate that I live in, it does get a little chilly at night, and I'm imagining that we've just eaten dinner on the back deck and the sun has set and now it's a little chilly, and I go and I pull on my long sleeve shirt and it's the perfect like summertime layer for nighttime. I imagine that I'm at the beach and it's now the late afternoon and it gets a little breezy and I put on my long sleeve. Those are the things that I am aspiring to this summer. I want to be eating food on my back deck. I want to be at the beach until it gets really late. The first long sleeve pattern that I have is the Kylie pullover by Irene Lin. This is a lace motif long sleeve shirt. I think some of the samples have been worked shorter, so it could I think be a t-shirt, it could be 3/4 length, or it could be all the way long sleeve. And it's just like the perfect layer to throw on. I imagine you wearing your bikini under this with your little denim shorts going to the beach. I love the lace pattern. It looks like actually it's lace alternating with cables. So if you are somebody who loves winter knitting, loves a cabled sweater, but it's summertime and you don't want to be working with all of those really warm fibers, this might scratch that itch because you still get to make cables, but it's cables and lace. So it's like a summertime cabled thing, which I think is really cool. This recommends a worsted weight yarn on 4mm needles. There are only 5 sizes, but they're for a finished bust circumference of 122 to 171 centimeters. I think this is intended to have a lot of positive ease. However, it doesn't have a ton of options for adjustability in terms of sizes. I just think it's a great layer for summertime. The next long sleeve that I have is the Cumulus blouse by Petite Knit. Everybody who I have seen make this looks stunning in their Cumulus blouse. I love that it's a V-neck, so for summertime when it's hotter outside, you don't have all that fabric touching your neck. I love the drape, and I love the amount of ease on both the body and the sleeves. I think it's an I-cord bind off, and I think it just looks so polished. Petite Knit knits hers in 2 lace weights held together, and I think that she knits it in mohair. Maybe mohair isn't the best summer fiber, but I think 2 lace weights in general, or a fingering weight, something that has a lot of drape. It's knit on 4.5mm needles, so like your standard sweater. It comes in sizes extra small to 5XL. The last long sleeve shirt that I have is another Petite Knit pattern. I haven't knit any Petite Knit patterns yet, and for a while I was like, I don't need to knit that, but now I'm looking at them and I'm like, I do kind of want to knit that. This one is the Elizabeth blouse by Petite Knit. Again, it's V-neck, but I love the little collar that folds out. I think it's leaning more towards preppy. Okay, so now we're talking about beach. I said this earlier with my Sailor Swift top. The nautical vibe. Imagine you're wearing your Sailor Swift top that's striped and you're on a sailboat. And when it gets a little chilly, you throw on your Elizabeth blouse and it has that cute little collar, but it's a V-neck so you can still see your Sailor Swift top. Anyway, imagine you use the same navy blue for both of them. How coordinated and cool would that be? Anyway, I just really love the little folded collar detail on this. Recommends a sport weight yarn on 2.5 to 4mm needles. I'm assuming the body is knit on 4mm needles and comes in sizes extra small to 5XL. So that concludes the garment portion of this video. And now I want to move on to accessories, which are arguably my most favorite things to make in the summer, because sometimes working with wool or with natural fibers, making a really big thing like a whole garment is a little much in the summertime when it's really hot outside. I also think that a lot of people don't want to knit tank tops and t-shirts. They don't find the value in that, and they are more sweater knitters. And summertime is generally just like less time spent knitting and crocheting. So accessories are also smaller and they happen a little bit faster, and they can be a great project for if you don't want to make a t-shirt or you don't want to make a tank top, but it's still summertime and you're looking for something to make. Okay, enough preamble. Let's get into the accessories. The first one, a little shameless plug here, that is the Perfect Summer Headband, which is my own pattern that I actually released a video tutorial for last week. I have since written up a written pattern. This is a crochet headband that I made using yarn scraps, so it's super affordable, very, very quick. I think it took me about an hour to make one of them. Perfect summer accessory, and I will say, I think it's a perfect gift too, because it's like a personal handmade thing that doesn't take you very long and doesn't cost very much. So this is a headband made using crochet granny squares, and then it has straps that have a long cord that then tie at the base of your neck, so it fits all head sizes because it's completely adjustable. Did I mention it's free? This is a free pattern that I created with a free video tutorial, and then it also has the written pattern component if you like that better for your making needs. The next accessory is the Summertime Tote Bag by Tamara Jordan, also known as Starcross Knits. This is her third pattern that has made it into this video. It's a super cute tote bag. It has several different colorwork charts that you can choose from. There is a flower chart, a cherry chart. I love these cherries. I love these little cherries. There's a gingham chart. It just looks like the perfect little tote bag to bring with you to the beach. We're talking about the beach a lot in this video, I guess. So yeah, beach time tote bag. Recommends a worsted weight yarn on 4mm needles and comes in a small size and a larger size. So that's great that there's 2 different size options. The next accessory is the Astrid pillow. This is a granny square pillow that I love the colors of. Like, I saw this and I was like, that That is my palette. I love a granny square situation where all the squares are different, but it's still cohesive. I made a granny square bag at the beginning of this year that I use all the time, and I did a similar mix and match situation. This pattern is by Mallory Crawl. It recommends an Aran weight yarn made with a 5mm crochet hook. What a great little crochet project for summertime. If you don't crochet, which I know some people only knit and don't crochet, some people only crochet and don't knit. If you don't crochet, I also wanted to include the Stella quilt cushion by Laura Penrose. This I feel like has made it on several pattern roundups. I know Amy from Knee Knits made a Stella quilt cushion. I know Emily from High Fiber Knits is planning a Stella quilt cushion. It's knit using a DK weight yarn on 4mm needles, and I think it's all in garter stitch. So even though it's knit flat, it is all knitting. Great pillow for if you are wanting to knit, but you don't want to knit a garment in the summertime. I have one honorable mention, and this is because it doesn't fit into any other category because it's a skirt. And that is the Lime Skirt by Lee Pull. I personally crochet, so I don't know if I would ever make this. But if you don't crochet and you knit and you want that kind of fishnet beach cover up, this is your pattern. I think it's a fingering weight yarn. It's knit on 3mm needles, 3 to 5mm needles. Whoa. Okay. And comes in sizes extra small to 5XL. So great size range. I love, 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 love this lime color that the sample is knit in. I love how long it is. It looks like the band you knit around an elastic, so it's nice and stretchy at your waist. 60 people have made it on Ravelry, and there are some really cool colors. So if you're looking for a summertime beach cover up skirt edition, the lime skirt might be your answer. Okay, whew, that was a lot. If you found any of these patterns useful or you gathered any sort of inspiration, please comment down below what you are planning to make or what you have added to your favorites or added to your queue. I will have all of these patterns linked in the description, as well as a link to a Ravelry bundle that actually also has a couple bonus patterns that I did not mention in this video. So be sure to check that out. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like and comment what you're planning to make this summer. I'm so curious, and I would love to talk to everybody about what we're all making this summer. If you enjoyed hanging out with me, maybe consider subscribing. I post videos once a week related to all things knitting and crochet and fiber in general. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok and friend me on Ravelry if you want, so we can all see what we're making all the time. I will be back next week with a regular podcast episode that I'm really excited for. If you made it all the way until the end, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. In other news, if you're still watching, I'll show you my new tattoos that I got that I'm really excited about. So first, I got this little XO. That one's for my mom. This one's one that I had before, just some flowers. I got this one here on my bicep, and I got that really cool flower on the back of my arm. Just a little bit of a life update for all of you who are still here. Okay, I love you, bye.